Back with another album review. Today's review is on Papercuts by Linkin Park. This is the band's greatest hits album. If you've seen my video on the top 31 best albums of 2024, you may have seen that I placed this as number 30. The album was released on April 12th, 2024 on Machine Shop Records and Warner Records. The album was sort of an appetizer for the band's 8th studio album, which I'll review next time. For now, let's focus on Papercuts. As I stated, this is a greatest hits album. I don't usually care for these kinds of albums unless they contain some rare and unreleased tracks. This is one of those cases. Apparently, an instrumental version of this album was released on June 28th, 2024. I didn't listen to it because I didn't think I really needed to. Besides, the instrumental version is digital only. With that out of the way, let's talk about the songs. The beginning of this album is Crawling. It's one of the biggest hits that come from Hybrid Theory. That album is a millennial classic. Next track is Faint. This is a popular track from Meteora. I stated in the past that Meteora is also a millennial classic just like its predecessor. After that is Numb/Encore. This comes from the Collision Course EP where Linkin Park performed a live show with Jay-Z. Unfortunately for Jay-Z, nobody respects him anymore since he was out as a rapist. I don't see Linkin Park working with him ever again anytime soon. Next up is Papercut. This is actually the first song on Hybrid Theory. Up next is Breaking the Habit. I personally think this is one of the best songs from Meteora. That's followed up by In the End. This is one of the most popular songs from Hybrid Theory. We followed up with Bleed It Out. This song originally appeared on Minutes to Midnight, which was the first part of what I call the Rick Rubin trilogy. The track after that is Somewhere I Belong. Anyone who has listened to Meteora remembers this banger. The track that comes next is Waiting for the End. I think this is the best song from A Thousand Suns, which was the second part in the Rick Rubin trilogy. That album got a lot of shit from people when it first came out, but I didn't think it was that bad, despite the heavy use of electronics. The track that follows is Castle of Glass. I think this is the best song from Living Things, the third and final part of the Rick Rubin trilogy. Many people, including myself, found that album to be an improvement over A Thousand Suns, even though there were also a lot of electronics used. The following track is One More Light, which is of course the title track from the album of the same name. When I reviewed One More Light, I consider it to be the weakest Linkin Park album. While that album isn't outright terrible, it is subpar compared to the band's other work. What comes next is Burn It Down. This is one of my favorite songs from Living Things. What's next is What I've Done. And this is another song from Minutes to Midnight. What's after that is Cordy, which was released as a single on April 26, 2024. This track was recorded during the Minutes to Midnight sessions and appeared on the LP Underground 6.0 EP in 2006. What comes after that is One Step Closer. Anyone who listened to Hybrid Theory remembers this song. What follows is New Divide, which came from the soundtrack to Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. I haven't seen any of the Transformers movies or shows because I never really paid attention to that franchise. Now, the next track is Leave Out All the Rest. This is a well-known song from Minutes to Midnight. The track after that is Lost. This was recorded during the Meteora sessions. It was included on the 20th anniversary edition of that album. The second to last track is Numb. Not only is this one of the most popular songs of Meteora, but it's one of the most popular Linkin Park songs of all time. The ending of this album is Friendly Fire. which was released as a single on February 23rd, 2024. This track was recorded during the One More Light sessions in April of 2016. The additional recording took place in December of 2023. There was a music video made, and I'm including a link in the description. When researching this album, I read that it peaked at number 6 on the Billboard 200. It was also number 2 on the US Top Rock and Top Alternative albums, and number 1 on the US Top Hard Rock albums. It was also certified gold in the UK, France, and Italy, and platinum in New Zealand. When it comes to the critics, there are mostly positive reviews. It's just that some dumbass at Metal Hammer thought it was mediocre. Now for my thoughts. I think this is a good album overall. One major problem is that none of the songs came from The Hunting Party, which I personally think is the best Linkin Park album. If I were to rank this album, I'd place it as being better than A Thousand Suns, but not as good as Living Things. Overall, I recommend checking out this album. Now is the part where I question you. Have you listened to Papercuts? If so, what do you think about it? What's your favorite song from it? What songs do you think should have been included? And let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Be sure to press the notification bell to notify of future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon with another review.